Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I just want to give a big thanks to everyone who supported me on this channel. This week I've reached my goal for this year and finally reached 10,000 subscribers. So I just wanted to say thank you for all your support everyone has given me, and please let me know in the comments below what you think about this channel. The feedback will really help me improve my future videos. So something frightening has been happening on Elm Street lately. It seems that with each waking day, another gruesome discovery is made. Another neighborhood teen has mysteriously passed away into the dark of the night. Everyone says it's natural causes, but it seems as if something or someone has been picking them off one by one in their sleep. It's a horrible nightmare come true, and this nightmare has a name. Freddy Krueger. It's up to you and your remaining friends to search Elm Street for his bones, which has been scattered around town, then collect and burn them in the high school furnace. If you can stay awake long enough, you might be able to end Freddy's reign of terror for good. You have to hurry though, it's getting late and you can feel your eyelids getting heavier and heavier by the minute. A Nightmare on Elm Street was released on the NES in October of 1989 by LJN. Remember, if you're new here, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button as it helps out this channel grow. And don't forget to hit the notification button for all future videos. So, how is A Nightmare on Elm Street today? Let's find out in this review of A Nightmare on Elm Street for the NES. As far as tying in with the plot of the movies goes, it shares the whole concept of the villain Freddy Krueger attacking and killing teenagers by invading their dreams while they sleep, but that's about it. There's no tie-in at all to any of the movies. In order to defeat Freddy and put an end to his killing spree, you take control of an unnamed teenager, head around different houses and locations around Elm Street, collect Freddy's bones scattered throughout the town, and destroy them in the high school furnace, finally destroying his evil curse once and for all. That's about it for the story. There's no cutscenes at all to explain anything for the story. The original concept for this game varied greatly from what was eventually released. In this original game concept, the players would control Freddy Krueger and would try to kill the teenagers who were attempting to gather his scattered bones in order to rebury them, but this version was cancelled. The gameplay is a typical side-scrolling action platformer game. You can play up to 4 players at a time. You get 5 lives and 5 continues. You start in the middle of Elm Street, heading left and right while dodging falling rocks and using your fists to fight the likes of cliché horror-themed enemies like zombies, spiders, bats, and snakes. When the game first starts, you get one of 3 random houses on the street that will open for you to enter. Once inside, you are required to find and collect all the bones scattered throughout each room, while dodging traps and fighting enemies. At the end of the final area of each house, you take on one of Freddy's body parts in a boss battle. The boss battles, they are pretty straightforward, much like the gameplay itself. Freddy's body parts tend to move around in the same general patterns, and avoiding their attacks isn't all that difficult, so good positioning and thrown weapons will do the trick. You also later on visit such places like the cemetery, junkyard, and a high school, which have more sub-areas and bones to collect, but it still follows the same general formula. Controlling your character is easy and straightforward enough, with left and right getting you to move in the direction you want to, down the dock, up to enter buildings from the sub-area when standing in front of them. The A button jumps and the B button makes you use your punch attack. The button responses are okay, but sometimes seems a little unresponsive. Sometimes when trying to jump to the next platform can be tricky. Some spots you have to be precise at jumping, and sometimes there will be an enemy waiting for you on the platform, causing you a cheap death. There is no life meter. Your character is able to sustain up to 4 hits before losing a life, but you do get to restart from the same point that you died. Next to your life is a sleep meter. Once it's all the way drained, you fall asleep, and the enemies become much tougher. You can find a boombox to wake you up, and when in the real world, you find some cups of coffee to refill your sleep meter to stay awake longer. There are Dream Warrior icons that appear. Once collected by any player, you can transform into one of the 3 Dream Warriors. Each warrior has thrown attacks and improved movements. The ninja has thrown stars and a jump kick. The acrobat has javelins and a somersault. And the magician throws fireballs and he can hover. These icons appear only in the normal world and can be used only in the dream world. If a character remains asleep for too long, the film's theme song plays and an encounter with Freddy, but you don't have to worry too much. He mainly only has one attack pattern. He walks, slices at you, and jumps. He is the easiest boss in the game. The other bosses in the game was much more difficult than he was. The graphics in this game are okay. The standard bats, snakes, and giant spiders are the most stock kind of horror-themed monsters to get out of the game. The characters' walking, attacking, and jumping animations are likewise quite simple, but they work okay. Backgrounds don't stick out that much in the main area. You have a black sky with stars, and a couple more background layers such as brick walls, trees, grass, and dirt paths. Multicolored brickwork, windows, stairways, and stone columns that make up house interiors look okay. The cemetery area throws in the odd tombstone alongside some otherwise pretty repetitive standard rock, grass, and water textures. And the junkyard, as you expect, is full of scrap motors, stacks of tires, and pits filled with shards of metal. The music is okay in this game. The main area's theme is okay and somewhat catchy, but is also repetitive, with other game stages areas having the standard high-pitched music that a lot of the other movie licensed LJN games have. In the dream world, you do at least hear an 8-bit rendition of the classic 1-2 Freddy's Coming For You theme. And there's that jazzy boombox tune playing when you grab it to snap you out of the slumber and return to the real world. The music is pretty upbeat and creepy at the same time. As video game soundtracks go, there at least isn't anything truly bad here. There aren't many sound effects, but what you do get works quite well. A Nightmare on Elm Street is a solid action game for the NES. It has a decent gameplay. Some places can be a bit tricky though. You can switch between characters in the dream world if you collect them in the real world. The graphics are okay, the backgrounds look decent, but can get repetitive in some levels. The enemy designs look good. You can tell what you're fighting against, whether it's a snake, a skull, or a bat, and the boss designs look good also. You can tell what body parts of Freddy you are fighting against. And Freddy looks okay also. The music is okay in this game, but is repetitive. There's no story for this game. You're just a random teenager trying to collect Freddy's bones. The final fight is disappointing against Freddy. The other boss battles are more challenging than he was. In the end, I still have fun with this game. I think this is one of those underrated games. A lot of people hate this because it's a LJN game. Yeah, it's not the best that the NES has to offer, but it's still a pretty good playthrough. A Nightmare on Elm Street for the NES gets a 7 out of 10. What did you think about A Nightmare on Elm Street for the NES? Please leave comments below to share your thoughts. That would do it for this episode. I will be doing live streams throughout the week, mostly games from the Xbox or the Nintendo Switch, and sometimes throughout the week I do a retro game night. And remember, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up for your support. Thanks for watching, and I will see you here on the next episode. Have a great day.